When I got to work this morning, I was getting ready to drive my truck, but the company was like, no, there's too much stuff. It was too big, too long, and too heavy. It's all right, her radio's better. Hey guys, this is Jace and welcome to episode 139 of My Road Show. Got a little bit of stuff to get into, let's get right to it. I got into work this morning and everything was done, if you can freaking believe that. I couldn't believe it myself when I walked in the office and all the papers were all there and nothing was waiting or nothing. I'm like, holy crap, this is gonna be a great day because all I'm gonna do is just put the stuff on the truck and freaking bail. I almost screwed myself. Unfortunately, man, I just squandered my opportunity to get out of the yard fairly early. Everything was done. It was done. But after digging it all out and finding a bunch of units that were super thin, and I had to get them on there just right, so that way the load doesn't lean one way or the other. You know, I turn around a couple of times and the yard has already taken their break at 9:30. I'm like, geez, it's already 9:30? And I finally get the stuff fairly on the truck, turn around another couple of times, it's 10:15. I'm like, what the hell? I don't know, man. I mean, I'm only half joking when I think that some alien has put some sort of thing in my head where I'll just freeze and nobody's telling me nothing about it. You know, I'm up in there just going for 15 minutes, and that would be the most rational explanation for how I lose time all the time. Thank entropy, it doesn't happen while I'm driving, but really, that's super disconcerting. Like, I had this load under control, so now my big problem is, I thought I had time to get all the way to Rifle before they closed today, so I put Rifle on top of a bunch of stuff for Junction. Ordinarily, I do it the other way around because I'm not going to make it to Rifle. But today, I'm like, hey, I've got time. I'm going to put it on this way. So now, if I don't make it to Rifle, Grand Junction has to take Rifle stuff off, get their stuff off, and put Rifle stuff back on the truck. And I hate doing that. Other companies don't mind doing that to their receivers, but I am one of those ones that I take pride in making sure that my load is put on the truck correctly. You know, if I worked for a company that will remain unnamed but rhymes with Smerpfizer, those people give zero craps about their receivers. They will just put that stuff on willy-nilly and then let the driver figure it out. I don't do that. I put the stuff on the truck in reverse order of how it comes off. So that way, any one receiver will only ever have to handle their stuff and maybe hand wraps on top. This Rifle thing is going to bother me. And I'm leaving so late that I don't think I'm going to make it to Rifle before they close at 5. I did it to myself. I found a bunch of thin units and I'm all in there going, hey, I don't know how you get this. You know, I've got a bunch of blocking set up inside the units and to make sure that they're going to set correctly. You know, these yard guys, man, they don't think how it's going to go on the truck. They just want to put the stuff in a unit and then get it off their forklift. I've told a lot of these guys, you know, try to get these units as close to 42 inches wide as possible. And they just don't care. They just don't care. So I'm out here, I've got a couple of 30s with a 48 on top of it, and then another 30, and then a 44. It's ridiculous looking. And you can't really butt everything up in the center because then the pressure of the straps tends to make your units lift up. So there's a method, man, and you can't, every time we hire a new guy, it's like, and then I gotta block the stuff up myself. That takes time too. It's really not so bad if the load is goofy looking. when I'm on my truck because it's hidden by the curtain. But because, yet again, we got to be out on the Kenworth, you know, the load is 28 feet long. It's not going to fit in my box. So everything being exposed, I got to make sure it looks good for the scale when I drive over it. Guys, I know, first world problems, but, you know, this is the stuff that I deal with. It's kind of why I do the show to begin with, just to kind of show everybody what truckers are up against. I'm going to offset my 5 solid minutes of bitching to say, what a beautiful day it is to be out doing this today. And nobody's getting weather until this weekend, kind of Memorial Day weekend. That's funny. I'll tell you what's funny. I forgot to look at the piece of paper in the office that lists what days we get off. I don't even know if we get Monday off or not, because that's not top of mind for me. I've been known to show up for work, not thinking about holidays, and the gate be closed. I'm like, what's going on here? Oh, it's Labor Day. Oh, it's, you know, I've done that like 2 or 3 times and had to turn my ass around and drive right back to Colorado Springs. Call my wife. I thought I was going to work, but I guess I'm not. Here's something that sounds totally crazy for me to be saying. I've been getting a lot of comments. Actually, that's just it. Getting a lot of comments. Me, of all people. Anyway, I've been getting a lot of comments about my broken windshield on both of the trucks. I'm fixing to explain to you why I don't replace them every time I get a chip. Here in Colorado, we are always hitting pieces of gravel or pieces of asphalt or stuff like that, and it puts the little chips in your windshield. And then because of the temperature difference, it turns into a crack immediately. So when you get a chip and you don't fix it that same day, it's a crack. Now, if I replace the windshield after every time something hits me, I'd be replacing the windshield 4 or 5, 6 times a year. How I do it, and this is not the way you're supposed to do it, obviously, but the way I do it is I wait for all year, and I've collected all these little spots. There are like 8 different breaks in this particular windshield, 3 or 4 on the International. I wait until either A, somebody writes me a ticket for it, or B, I'll wait till the middle of June. That way, the company's only buying me 2 windshields instead of 5 or 6 every year. That's just the way I've always done it. And the other problem is, the people that were doing commercial windshields down in Colorado Springs, where I live, have stopped doing commercial windshields. So I either have to get a mobile guy to come out and do it here in Denver, or have a mobile guy come out to my house and do it in Colorado Springs, which is monumentally more expensive. So all you Dudley Do-Rights who keep telling me to fix my windshield, thank you for the comment. However, I'm going to do how I'm going to do it. And while I'm on the subject with comments, I had a couple of people tell me that it's very dangerous to be operating a camera while I'm driving. Here's the thing. I set up everything first thing in the morning, and I have a remote control down here. So I'm actually not touching the camera at all while I'm driving. So maybe that will assuage your fear that I'm driving around out here dangerously. This is no more dangerous than talking to a passenger. And until they make talking to a passenger illegal, I'm going to keep doing it. So there you are. You'll see how I do it for episode 150. Episode 150 is going to be my behind the scenes and sort of the camera up here instead of back here. And I'm going to be filming an episode at the same time. So episode 149 is going to be shot with this camera, and I'm going to shoot episode 150 with the other GoPro that's going to be stapled to the windshield up here. And everything will have remotes. All I'll have to do is set up first thing in the morning and then just have the remotes going. It's going to be super cool if I pull it off. And I will, because I've been thinking about that episode for a long time. I figure it was either going to be 100 subs or 150 episodes, and we're going to get to 150 episodes way before we get to 100 subs. On a side note, there's a very large party going on out there in the courtyard, so if you hear kind of like a that's what's going on.
and I don't want to run noise cancellation, so whatever, just let them do their thing. I'll turn the music up a little bit. Technically, we're only about an hour and 15 minutes behind schedule, but as you well may know, anything can happen, just never in my favor.
We are stopped here at the top of Rabbit Ears Pass because I'm giving somebody a head start. I was number 2 in a line of about 12, 14, 16 cars. The number 1 guy kept going about 45-ish in a 65. There were some opportunities for some people to kind of go around. There was a couple of people that did manage, but I was just like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this guy. You know, he's driving a 90s era clapped out Buick LeSabre or something like that. And he was just hitting his brakes, and I'm trying to give him that distance, you know. I'm like, I'm not trying to tailgate you, man. It's just that I'm kind of looking for an opportunity to pass. We got up here to the top. I'm like, you know what? I'm out. And I just pulled out and let that whole line of traffic go down the hill. So I'm going to give him another 5 minutes or so. I'm impatient. That's enough.
That guy's lucky I don't have a giant chainsaw strapped to the front of my vehicle, because I would have chopped his ass in half.
It's about 10 till 2, and we're rolling into Steamboat already. We made some pretty good time. In my estimation, that gives us about a 45-minute window to make it over to Rifle before they close, and then we'll turn the corner and head for Junction. At least that's the plan. Yeah, it's kind of funny. This time last week it was threatening to snow here. It's currently 81 Fahrenheit. Gotta love Colorado in May, man. We have cleared Steamboat Springs, and now the race is on to Rifle to see if we can make it before they close. I think we've got about a 20-minute window. I think we'll make it, but we might not. It just depends. It's not that big a deal if we don't. I would just rather not have Grand Junction handle Rifle stuff in order to get their stuff out from underneath. So I'm going to turn all this off and wrap up the rest of my audiobook, and if anything exciting happens, I'll turn the stuff back on and I'll tell you all about it. Well, I rolled into Rifle just as they were closing the gate. 4 minutes to spare. The guy looks at me, knew who I was. He's like, does the whole fake, and opens the gate back up. So we got Rifle unloaded. Now all we got to do is sit back and relax and find some fuel and be in Clifton in 45 minutes. Easy peasy, man.
Well, we're in Clifton. We would have made it anyway. It just would have depended on whether Grand Junction would have had to take their stuff out from underneath Rifle or not. So we'd still have been here, but it just made it easier that we made it to Rifle like we did. Anyway, tomorrow's stops are one here in town. I have, let me see, I have Carbondale, I have Basalt, I have Edwards, I have Eagle, and Breckenridge, and then I can go home. Anyway, that's all I've got for you tonight. I will see you in the next one. There we go. Maybe we won't hit the thing and make it go. That guy. Oh. Well, we made it here to Clifton. We were going to make it anyway, but just the way that the route was. Well, we're here in Clifton. We would have made it anyway, but it just would have. I can't think.